House Republicans making good on a major campaign promise today. The House just last hour passing the Parents' Bill of Rights. They argue it gives parents more say in their children's education, but Democrats, they don't agree. And just listen to the outrageous claims that they made about the bill on the House floor yesterday.
Don't we want our children to know that slavery was wrong as I fight against slavery today that still exists?
Bills like this make schools more hostile, and make no mistake, it results in hate, bigotry, and yes, sometimes death of our students.
How pathetic, how dreadful, how disgraceful. We want to terrorize the very people who love our children. Our teachers are sacrificial lambs.
When we talk about progressive values, I can say what my progressive value is, and that is freedom over fascism.
Extreme MAGA Republicans don't want the children of America to learn about the Holocaust.
I mean, did they all go out drinking together? Because that was insane. That was totally nuts. And Dagan, this line in particular, I want to focus on Hakeem Jeffries for a second, because he is the top House Democrat, right? So the highest there is. For him to make the claim, extreme MAGA Republicans don't want the children of America to learn about the Holocaust, what a malicious, egregious, outrageous lie. And I don't use that word lightly, but that is a lie.
Mm-hmm. It's a lie. And how is it that AOC clearly practices in her bathroom mirror and becomes more shrill? You're supposed to become, more approachable and likable the more you practice at it. I have a completely upside down hot take on this. The Republicans, I'm from the birthplace, my birthplace is Patrick Henry's last home and burial place, and he had a deep-seated fear of giving too much power to the federal government. And it's because of him we have a Bill of Rights. I'm not a big believer in giving more federal power, in putting more federal power over education. Education is primarily a state and local responsibility, and the states are taking it into their hands, giving parents power, and parental bills of rights are in play, if not in place, in 26 states already. I'm not in favor of this, but what the Republicans actually should have done is taken all of this caterwauling from the left and said, you know what, you're right. We shouldn't have the federal government in the role of education and telling, parents what to do. We should get rid of the Department of Education, and we should send it all back to the states and localities. That's what they should have done.
So, Pete, I'm a huge supporter of this. I would argue it empowers the parent. And let's listen to House Speaker McCarthy on exactly what the Democrats are so enraged about.
Democrats believe that parents shouldn't have a say in their kids' education and to actually know what the reading material is. Democrats believe that was extreme. Democrats didn't believe that in this bill we say parents have a right to be heard, that they should be able to go to school board meetings and not be called terrorists, that they could have a say, but Democrats thought that was too extreme. Parents should have a right to know where their tax dollars are being spent in the schools, the budgets, but Democrats thought that was too extreme. Today was a win for every mother, every father, but most importantly, for every student in America.
Pete.
It's a good message. I mean, Republicans should run on sanity versus lunacy, versus, parents versus perverts. Like, that's what it's come down to inside schools. Dagan, I agree with you. It shouldn't be a federal issue, but it is. And they've made it one, and they've taken it over. So the idea of local control actually doesn't really exist anymore. When you look at the pipeline of how curriculum and standards and testing and everything through unions gets rammed down to the local level. So until you can get rid of the Federal Department of Education, which every Republican candidate should run on, you better fight fire with fire and do something that gives parents actual power and expose the radicalism. I mean, the Democrats are in a trap here on education. They know the schools fail kids. They know parents want options. They know transitioning second graders is weird, but they have to defend it because they're in bed with the hard left. Press the offensive. Kevin McCarthy's right to make this.
And some of the provisions, Kayleigh, school districts must post curriculum publicly. Teachers must offer 2 in-person meetings with parents each year. States must provide public copies of any revisions to their standards. It's transparency.
And it's sad that this even needs to be a bill in the first place. One of the provisions in the bill is simply to guarantee that parents are notified if violence takes place in their kids' schools. Why is this controversial? Why do people even oppose this? And I think that it's right that the federal government does need to go on the offensive on this because of the way that the left views the public education system. The Democrats are on record. Terry McAuliffe is a great example of this back in 2021, saying that he does not believe that parents have the right to tell teachers what they should teach. And it's because for the longest time, Democrats and the left view the public education system as their ideological training ground. Horace Mann, known as the father of education in America, is on record saying that parents should consider giving their kids over to the public school system as a way for the state to take them and train them. That is the education system in America, and that's what needs to be pushed back on.
Joe Biden told a group of teachers the kids are kind of yours when they're in your classroom.
It's preposterous. You're absolutely right. And that flow from that communism time decades ago, they all went into either social and community activism or academia. And then now that has been allowed to breed and fester. We see it in legislation as well all over. You know, remember Governor Gavin Newsom, who said, your kids can come to our state borders and we will then act in loco parentis. We will be the parents for them. What's so mind-boggling to me is that we even need to have this. But you're absolutely right that hyperbolic statements, that the egregiousness of the concept. So what they are saying is that if you don't vote our way, if you don't act in lockstep with the woke left, you want your children to die, their words not mine. You don't love them, their words not mine. Teachers are sacrificial lambs, their words not mine. How is it possible that their consolidated power that led to a, quote, crisis, as the CDC said, in terms of youth mental health and including sexual assault of teen girls, how has that been anything but an absolute disaster? And they have the audacity to tell parents to their face they don't care about their kids, that they need to be arrested and led outside of school board meetings in handcuffs. The past 3 years have been atrocious. And what we should do is clip all of that as the campaign slogans and the campaign ads for every Republican running in 2024.
Well, it worked in Virginia, didn't it? Ask Terry McAuliffe.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kayleigh McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.